Hello everyone. This is Cheryl Gallagher with Body Creation Coaching with Cheryl. And welcome back today. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the body and grief. Okay, so I'm sure at some point in all of our lives, one time or another, we've had grief. And what I mean by grief, the energy of grief, losing somebody, a trauma that's happened in our life, to the point where, you're maybe sobbing, crying, or you're crying a lot, or you just feel like you're stuck in mud. So what is the energy of grief? So every word that we use in our language, or it doesn't matter what language it is, has an energy to it. And if I say the word grief, most likely some visuals might pop up for you, or some feelings or some sensations in the body. Now, if I say what is grief in terms of energy, then you can just look to the body to sense what that's like. So you'll feel it in your body somewhere. Some people feel like maybe a heaviness on their chest, or not so great uneasiness feeling in the pit of their stomach, or maybe just overall you just feel very dense. I don't mean dense in a mental kind of way, but in just an energetic kind of way. So grief, if I had to ask you, is it heavy or light? What kind of energy does it feel? Does it feel heavy or does it feel light? Now, most people I would imagine would say it's heavy. It's a heavy energy. It's this thick energy, this dense sort of again, there's not words, there's just energy. So, for just a moment, pull that up for you, maybe a time in your life, just that sensation. I don't want you to go too deep with it, just a little bit. Just something that we feel that was it's heavy. It might still be residing in the body. Remember, bodies remember, and the body holds on to these energies until they get released, until we release them. Through movement, through processing, and through sound. And of course there's other ways, exercise, like I said, that's movement, but there's lots of other little ways. So one of the ways that we can move grief is through sound. So, what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, when's the last time you were in the car and you turned up the radio real loud and you had a song on that just you loved and you just are singing it to the top of your lungs? How do you feel afterwards? Do you ever pay attention? Or maybe you're in the shower and you're a shower singer, and does it get your day going? Well, lately I've been singing to my beagles. They don't judge, which is great. And this, again, is not about how well we sing. This is just about the sound and the vibration and the energy. So when you have something that vibrates, it breaks things up. If we have this dense, thick energy that we call grief, or maybe even little pieces of it, it's stuck. So when we vibrate it, it allows it to release. Now, Eastern philosophy, Eastern medicine, says that grief is held in the lungs. So if it's held in the lungs and we sing or we make sound, and that with movement, then doesn't it almost make sense that, it might actually help it move? My mother, who died of complications from COPD, which is a pulmonary, or it's a lung disease. One of the things that I noticed with her, even through the later years, is that she didn't want to laugh, cry hysterically, because she was worried about going into what she called an exasperation, where she couldn't breathe. And it's sort of this almost oxymoron, or it almost is interesting because that's what she actually required. She needed that movement. She needed that sound. So there was a couple times we would get to singing in the car. We sang Elvis towards the end. before she passed. But anyway, so sound and vibration. So a cousin of mine, he has been going through a tough time. And I was talking to him a couple months ago, and we were talking about how like he's been feeling depressed, and then he's been smoking a lot, and he's decided, hey, I need to stop smoking because he said his lungs feel kind of gunky. And he's like, I remember one of the things I used to do to make me feel good was I would sing, and I'd feel better, or I'd run and I'd feel better. So these are all things that are providing movement, particularly a little bit more focused with the lungs. And of course with the ribs, the diaphragm, the muscles surrounding. However, it's that movement, it's that vibration that's creating the movement to creating the release. Now, what I'm going to share with you today real quick is something called toning. Now, again, you don't have to do this. Throw a song on, it's one of your favorites. Throw it up, sing it to the top of your lungs. It's going to create this pretty much the same effect is what I'm going to share with us, or share with you, or me. I don't know, share today. So toning is something I learned in a Native American group years ago. And essentially what it is, they didn't speak about it exactly in this way. It was the same idea though. It was about making sound to release. And so we're in this group meeting, and there's like 15 to 20 of us. And so they share with us these sounds, and they said, okay, now who would like to come to the center of the circle and tune? Well, I'm not a singer. I don't particularly, have a like beautiful angelic voice. However, it's not about that. It's all about the vibration and the sound. And I used to joke actually to teaching my classes at the Y, my body pump, and my different like group exercise classes. I joke with them that if I sang to you, then you get a bonus. Because you know what? It really doesn't matter how it sounds. It's about the vibration and the intent behind it. So anyway, so my teacher looks at me and goes, Cheryl. I was like, oh geez. Oh man. I was a little nervous, a little uncomfortable. But I went to the center of the circle. And at that time in my life, this was like 20 some years ago, I really was, still processing a lot of my childhood stuff with my father, my mom, and just a lot of things. And so my sounds went from high to low to angry to sad. So it can change. So it doesn't have to just be like, it can go up, it can go down. Now I invite you to put your hands just right below the rib cage here, so where the diaphragm is. Take a deep breath in and sit up tall. And just feel that movement under the hands, just the breath. Moving, opening, shutting, contracting, expanding, okay? And so the first sound I'm going to give you is ah. I'm going to do ah, e, and o. So just take a nice deep breath in and just go ah. Did you notice the belly pressing out? So we should be noticing the belly pressing out into the hands just a little bit here. And again, through the nose, out the mouth. Ah. Now your eyes could be open or shut. It doesn't matter. It's about the sound. It's about the movement of the sound. And we don't have to have anything in our mind that we're trying to release. That which needs to be released will be released. Now if we go low with the sound, we're getting more of like the solar plexus area and this area that we're looking to move. If we go ee, we're getting sound. That higher pitch though is more for the chakras or the energy system, sort of neck up. So that low, it can go really deep, and you can laugh with it again. And if you have something that comes up as anger or as laughter or sadness, just go with it. So the next sound I'm going to share is E. Again, we're going to breathe through the nose. We're exhaling through the mouth. E. ready for the full exhale. And you could even take a little short breath in and again, how you begin to feel. Hopefully a little bit more movement, a little bit lighter. Okay, and the last one I'm going to share is O. Now, if you want me to give you a number of how many to do, I'd say 5 to 7. But really, it's however it's feeling for you and your body, right? So if you're like, I need to do 8, don't be like, oh, well, Cheryl just said 7. No, do 8. It's fine. If you're like, I only needed 4 at the E's and then 4 ahs and 4 O's, and maybe there's another sound that works for you and that comes in as we're doing this. So the O sound. Breath in, relax the shoulders. O. I'm doing the O, I'm recalling this is the sound that I remember using that time in the center of that circle. I had a lot of grief, I had a lot of sadness that I was trying to release, and it practically brought me to tears. Do another one. And this doesn't have to be because of something that you're still holding on to. This could be a current grief that's going on in your life or something that's real heavy. It doesn't have to be grief. I'm using grief because it is such a dense energy, and with the sound and the vibration in the lungs, there's a connection there. So the vibration is just going to get movement, period. So remember that. Vibration, movement. How do we feel? Yeah, hopefully a little bit lighter. Again, grief is just an energy. It's just about moving that energy and how it needs to be moved. A couple of sounds, toning, you can look that up. You can Google toning, and there might be some more tips and tools on it if you'd like. But just these basic sounds, ah, e, o, doesn't have to be in that order either. Or again, singing a song that you just love and you feel great afterwards. You ever have those songs that are just so sad, and you listen to that, yeah, that doesn't lift me up, just saying. But if I listen to, I'm so happy, dun, 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 like, I'm listening to some of those songs and I'm just singing, and I'm like, yeah, like I was singing like Rock You Like a Hurricane yesterday, and, just whatever works. Each of us are unique and we're different, and find the song that resonates in your soul that's going to help move this energy. And hopefully the sounds, the toning will also be of use. Please, if this was not just enjoyable, but if this was helpful, like this video, share it with people who may be going through a tough time, or maybe plant a seed for them for later on. Subscribe. You'll get more of these videos, hit that push notifications, and please drop me a comment if you've done it and let me know what you think. All right, guys, that's it. Body and grief. Hopefully this helped move some things in your world, and it's a lot lighter.